There are 24 hours in a day, and that's about the same amount of time given to Michelangelo when he painted the Sistine Chapel, and to Albert Einstein when he discovered the theory of relativity. So why does it seem like that's still not enough time for us to achieve our own dreams? Our next guest explains why. Fact. Life rarely works out exactly how you planned. So much can derail or distract you from achieving your goals and dreams. And if you're not careful, you may find yourself bogged down by endless responsibilities. So, what do? Are you doomed to live an all-work, no-fun life only to find the occasional glimpse of happiness on weekends? Spending time in front of the TV? Or taking vacations far away from responsibilities at work and at home? Or is there a way to balance work and play so your time isn't wasted or abused? Dr. Myles Munroe says he has a plan. In his book, Understanding Your Place in God's Kingdom, Myles addresses your search for more meaning and tells you how to find purpose in life. I love it. Well, Myles Munroe is also the senior pastor of Bahamas Faith Ministries International, and he is here with us now on the 700 Club. It's so good to have you back, Doctor.
It's been a while, but it's good to be back. I'm very excited to be here. This is exciting.
Absolutely. Speaking of exciting, let's talk about your book, right? It's already at the top of the charts.
Yes.
Or is that kind of like music? It's the same thing. Talks about understanding your place in God's kingdom, your original purpose for existence. I think that's a challenge that many of us have. You know, God says there's a plan and purpose for each of us, but are we walking out the plan that God has for us? That's the question of the day, isn't it?
You know, this book actually is a response to my search as a religious person. I was born in the Bahamas, where God lives, of course.
Of course.
And I was born into a family. My father is a minister, pastor, all his life, and my mother was a missionary. So I was born in a church pew. And but I was frustrated. I heard messages about how good God was, but yet we were living in a very poor condition. That my environment was low income. I was sleeping on the floor, and they told me that God owned the sheep on 1,000 hills, but I couldn't even afford mutton, you know. So I was like, you know, something's wrong here, something's missing. And at age 13, I began to ask questions that adults asked. And I asked those questions first to my parents, and then I asked God himself, and I was frustrated. And at age 13, God answered me. He says, read the 4 Gospels. That's all he said. And at 13 years old, a teenager, just turning teenager, I read the 4 Gospels. And I read it 7 times. And I discovered a Jesus that I didn't find in the church. And I also discovered a message that I never heard in the church. Jesus Christ spoke about this kingdom that he came to bring to the earth. And so whatever's happening in heaven is supposed to happen on earth. And this is why when they asked Jesus, what should we pray for and how should we pray? His answer was very logical. He says, well, first of all, here's how to pray. Our Father who is not on earth. And that's important.
Heaven, yes.
He's in the home country.
Yeah.
Holy is your name. Holy means different, distinct, unique. And then he says, here's what to request. Thy kingdom come and thy will, intentions be done where? On earth. How? Just like it is in heaven.
There are a lot of people who are out there and they say, you know what, when I pray, I feel like I'm not heard.
Right.
When I pray, I feel like nothing happens. No matter how hard I try, I feel like I'm not in the image of Christ, but I still feel broken down.
You know, people say, well, if God can do anything, why can't God just do it without referring to us? In other words, here's a question I ask myself. Why do we need to pray if God's sovereign? And that's a serious question. I mean, why can't God fix the wars on earth or get rid of racism or destroy segregation or get rid of terrorism? I mean, come on, God, this is your planet.
Yeah.
There's poverty, there's sickness, disease, and AIDS, and corruption. God, fix it. And God is saying, no, watch God. He says, if you, as a human, would confess your sin and turn from your wicked ways and then invite me in, I'll heal your land. How about Jesus? Christ says, wherever any 2 of you shall touch and agree concerning anything on the earth specifically, then it shall be done by your Father in heaven. It's as if heaven can't do nothing on earth unless a human gives heaven permission. And this is why prayer is not just an option, it's necessary.
That was the easiest interview I've ever had to do.
That's why we're here, to help people.
Come on. on, come on. That was deep, that was meat, and that was good. Listen, the book is called Understanding Your Place in God's Kingdom. It's available wherever books are sold. And if you want more nuggets of Myles Munroe, it's in here. All right, we'll be back with more of the 700 Club after this. You're wonderful. Thank you so much.